Ever feel like drowning in tech jargon? You know, like everyone else is fluent in Silicon Valley and
Oh,
you're stuck with like a dial-up dictionary.
yeah,
We've all been there, right?
totally.
So that's why this deep dive is all about a podcast that's promising to throw us a tech lifeline.
Okay.
It's called the Tech Guys Tech Tips Podcast.
I like it.
And we're going deep to see if it actually lives up to the hype.
All right.
Like, does it make tech less intimidating?
Yeah,
Is it worth our precious time?
absolutely.
All those big questions.
For sure.
But first, who are these tech guys? Anyway.
Right.
Well, they're not some fly-by-night app developers, I can tell you that much.
Oh, okay.
They've actually been running a tech support company since, get this, 2002.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Working with businesses and everyday people across North America.
So they've been around the block a few times.
Oh, yeah, they've seen it all.
Yeah.
And they claim to offer that, personalized touch, which I think is a big deal when it comes to tech support. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Because experience and that human element, that's crucial. Anyone can tell you to restart your computer.
Exactly.
But these tech guys, they're all about, like, walking you through it. No judgment.
Exactly.
No judgment.
You don't have to win an award for knowing where the power button is.
I love it. All right, so let's break down their podcast format, see what they've got going on. They've got a pretty structured approach, which I'm into, personally.
I can get with that.
Yeah. So each episode, they kick things off with trending tech news.
Okay, keep me in the loop.
Right. Think of it as, like, your cheat sheet for what's new in the tech world. I like it. I like it.
Delivered in a way that doesn't require a PhD to understand.
That's key. Because staying informed, it's almost a full-time job these days. You're not just getting the news, you're getting, like, curated, digestible insights.
Exactly.
Hopefully, minus the tech jargon.
And this is where it gets really interesting, okay?
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They don't just tell you what's new. They actually want to make sure that you can use this stuff.
Right, right.
So they follow that news segment up with actionable tech tips.
I like where this is going.
I know. Have you ever been, like, totally baffled by a software update?
Oh, all the time.
So this segment claims to give you those, like, much-needed tech life hacks.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Information is only as good as its application, right? Imagine learning a tech tip that helps you, I don't know, reclaim lost storage space on your phone or finally organize that downloads folder.
Yes.
That's empowering stuff.
Totally. And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, they hit us with myth-busting and simplified tech jargon.
Music to my ears.
Honestly, this one's a game changer. For years, I thought RAM was something totally different. Don't even get me started on the cloud.
It's true. The language of technology, it can be a huge barrier, especially for, folks who aren't digital natives.
Oh, for sure.
Just having that segment title alone, myth-busting, simplified jargon, that might be enough to pique someone's interest, someone who'd normally be, like, totally intimidated by the tech world.
100%. Okay, so now let's talk about their target audience, because this is where it gets really interesting. They're really focused on three main groups here. Small business owners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Senior citizens.
Got it.
And, well, everyone in between.
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang.
Yeah.
And they're very upfront about the fact that, they tailor their content for these specific groups.
And what's smart about that, they're recognizing that tech, it impacts everyone, but differently, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A small business owner might be worried about, like, cybersecurity for their website,
Right.
while a senior citizen might just want to figure out how to video chat with their grandkids without, having to call tech support every 5 seconds.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, we get it. Tech can be a jungle out there, and we're your safari guides. No matter which tech tribe you belong to, they're here to make sure you're not just surviving, but thriving.
I like that, thriving in the digital age. And it speaks to their whole thing about accessibility, which they emphasize a lot. Clear language, relatable examples, no tech jargon allowed.
Yeah, like a no judgment zone for all things tech.
Exactly.
And get this, they even promise to inject humor and personality into the podcast.
Right.
Because honestly, who wants to listen to a robot drone about gigabytes and firewall?
Right.
Nobody.
I'd rather listen to nails on a chalkboard.
So they actually want to get this tech fun. Can you believe it?
I love that. Humor is so important. It can really make learning more enjoyable, less intimidating. Plus, it gives you a sense of, like, who these tech guys are, beyond the expertise. Are they witty, sarcastic? Do they make dad jokes about floppy disks? I kind of want to know now.
Me too. Okay, and then to further humanize this whole tech experience, they have a segment dedicated to, get this, real client stories.
Oh, interesting.
It's called Spotlight on Real Tech Challenges, which is brilliant. They're basically saying, we've all been there, folks. That feeling of utter tech defeat, we've helped people overcome it.
That's such a clever approach because it does two things, right? It subtly showcases their expertise by highlighting real-world problems they've solved, and it also gives the listener that, okay, I'm not alone in this feeling. We've all had those moments where technology makes us feel like we're stuck in the Stone Age. So just knowing that even, tech experts have clients facing these everyday challenges, it makes it all a bit less daunting.
Exactly. And you know that's really resonating with me about all of this?
What's that?
Their emphasis on empowering listeners to find solutions that actually work for their needs.
Yeah.
Because tech is not one size fits all, right?
Absolutely. And that's such an important point. Even something as simple as choosing the right smartphone,
Oh, yeah.
it can feel totally overwhelming with all the options out there.
Totally.
So having a resource that kind of guides you through that decision-making process based on your needs, your comfort level, that's invaluable. It's about bridging that knowledge gap.
Yeah.
And giving people the confidence to make informed choices about the technology they're inviting into their lives.
Yes. It's about taking control of the tech rather than letting the tech control you, which happens so easily these days.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, one question that popped into my mind while I was going through all of this is about the format itself.
Okay.
How effective is a purely audio format, for conveying tech information? I mean, some things you just need to see, right?
Here is an excellent point. There are definitely instances where visuals are essential, especially for things like, software tutorials or troubleshooting hardware issues.
Right.
But audio has its own unique strengths, right? Think about it. A conversational format like this, it allows for a more nuanced and I think engaging delivery.
Yeah.
It's like we're just chatting about these concepts, which hopefully makes it more relatable, less like a lecture.
Right. Like that friend who's just really good at explaining things patiently,
Exactly.
breaking things down without making you feel like you're back in school.
Precisely. And while they can't provide, on-screen demos, obviously, they can still paint a vivid picture with their words.
Yeah.
Plus, they can walk listeners through processes step by step, which can often be more effective than trying to follow along with a fast-paced video tutorial.
Right.
And let's not forget the accessibility factor. I mean, audio content can be consumed anywhere, anytime.
That's true.
Even if you're on the go, multitasking, or you have visual impairments that might make video content inaccessible.
That's a fantastic point. And speaking of accessibility, they do mention having a YouTube channel for those who prefer video content or want to dive deeper into certain topics.
Oh, okay.
So they're not limiting themselves to just one format, which is cool.
I see.
But it sounds like they're really strategic about using the audio format to its strengths.
Right.
Especially for those, on-the-go moments where you need quick tech tip or explanation. So with all that said, do you think this Tech Guys podcast has the potential to actually live up to its promise? Are they the real deal, or is it all just, clever marketing? So are the Tech Guys the real deal? Is this podcast worth hitting that subscribe button?
Honestly, I'm thinking yes. Based on everything we've talked about, they seem to be doing a lot of things right. Addressing a real need, making it approachable, engaging, even entertaining,
I'm with you. I'm definitely intrigued. And honestly, I think anyone who's ever felt, intimidated by tech or just wish they had someone to kind of walk them through it all,
Yeah,
this podcast could be it for them.
totally. And beyond the practical stuff, the tips and all that, what I really like is their whole vibe, their underlying message is all about empowerment.
Oh, totally.
Hey, you don't need to be some coding whiz to figure this stuff out.
Exactly.
They're breaking down those barriers, and giving people the tools they need to not just survive, but actually thrive in this digital world.
Yes. It's like they're taking the tech support out of tech support. It's less about fixing problems and more about giving you the confidence to handle things yourself.
Exactly. And that's huge. Because when you feel empowered by technology, it opens up so many doors, whether it's, starting a business online, connecting with family who lives far away, or just feeling more in control of your digital life.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. All right. So to wrap things up, if you're listening to this and you're like, yep, that's me. I need this in my life.
Hit subscribe.
Hit subscribe. The Tech Guys Tech Tips podcast might be just the thing you've been waiting for. Give it a listen and let us know what you think.
You might actually find yourself looking forward to your weekly dose of tech tips. Imagine that.
turning tech from a source of stress into something that's actually, dare I say, enjoyable. Okay, before we go, one final thought-provoking question for you to ponder. What's one tech challenge in your life, big or small, that you wish someone would just simplify for you? Think about it. Maybe, just maybe, the tech guys have the answer. That's it for our deep dive today. Happy listening.